Hey, hey, hey. I hope you guys enjoy these, what I'm calling podcast shorts for my Burnout to All Out community. This is just a little peek behind the curtain of the coaching that goes on inside of my programs. We're bringing to you some of the best nuggets and coaching I'm giving within hot seats of all of our different programs, whether it's our LinkedIn Method Academy, our mini mastermind business basics, all the way up to our higher level mastermind. If you're hearing some of these questions and you're like, man, I wish I could get my burning question answered by Melissa. Hey, guess what? You could be featured on my podcast. If you've got a question that you want answered and you submit it to my team and we pick it, we will bring you here to the podcast for our podcast shorts and do a hot seat with you. Where can you submit your questions? Send them to teamburnout2allout.co. We'll make sure we drop that in the show notes for our podcast shorts. And I hope that you guys find as much value in these shorts as our clients do inside the program. Need some effective tactical advice that actually helps you get results and makes a real difference in your life and business? You've come to the right place. If you're finding yourself here today, it means you're getting ready to gain serious traction in your business, rapidly multiply your income and impact, and you're ready to make it happen while living all out. Guys, I'm Melissa Hinault, your trustworthy corporate dropout turned six-figure business burnout turned happy and healthy CEO of a multi-million-dollar online business. And you're listening to the Burnout to All Out podcast. On this show, we're serving up innovative growth strategies, simple implementation methods to put them into practice, and action-stimulating inspiration tailored specifically for the modern entrepreneur. Let's dive in. Let's talk about your actual offer. So help me understand. You're doing mindset coaching for accountants, which I understand that piece, but you're talking about website development as well. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And it's like website development for accountants.
Yeah.
Okay. So what you're looking at offering is kind of this tiered approach of website development, but then also mindset coaching and other aspects.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And what was your question about the format of the offer?
No, so this is the first time I'm doing it this way, like online format, right? I've had some client before, but it was one-on-one and I've never done it in a group setting. And there's so many different aspects of doing it. And I just wanted to pick your brains on how, like, if there's something like you mentioned timing, like, what do you suggest? Like I would do instead, right? Like, cause I know that's going to be an issue. How do I go about it? Right? Like, should I start marketing as quickly as I start moving into the coaching program in the first month and start enrolling those people in? Like, how should I approach that?
So some of the best advice I got that I still adhere to this day, I was the girl in grad school who was in bed by 8:00 the night before every exam because I studied so far in advance and was like just ready. Like that's how I am, right? So this whole entrepreneurship thing was like very jarring for me. Some of the best advice I got from some really successful coaches who are in kind of the 9-figure space now was sell it before you build it. And I'm like, what? Like, you got to be kidding me, right? But I see so many entrepreneurs spend so much time building and curating and creating and just months of course creation, how it's going to look. And then they go to market with it and like nobody buys it. And they spent all this time. Whereas if you can pitch something, the very first time I sold the academy, I hadn't built it yet. Okay. I sold it. And then I told people we weren't starting for 2 weeks. And then I got busy. And when I had a group of 12 who paid me, by the way, $100 per person. So it was $1,200 was the money I made for my first group coaching program. I went to the drawing board and started to build it out. And I started dropping one module at a time. And actually we did this with the blueprint, right? Some of you might not even know about the newest thing that we've built out. I sold it before I made it. And then we dripped it. Like every week I made a new video and dripped it to them. And now it's on demand and it's all there, but it didn't start that way. The cool thing about selling something before you make it is that you get real-time feedback from the audience you bring in so that you can pivot what you're doing and change the content based on the feedback. And you can even ebb and flow with the way that you're structuring the program. I want you guys to be okay with your programs, if you're launching programs, with them not being perfectly baked when you launch them. And maybe if you know your audience well enough, if it's a warm audience like mine was, and many of you are going to launch with a warm audience, letting them know, maybe you're giving them a discount because it's your first stab at it, right? And you're building it as you go and you're taking their feedback. You guys would be really surprised to know with my academy, it was called the LinkedIn Bootcamp, and it was 5 days. I gave them all this content live, like one day after another. And it was like drinking water from a fire hose. And it was trial and error. Yes, right? I see some of you laughing right now. You're like, what? And I realized in that first week, I ran it, gave them all the content. And afterwards, I was like, I realized there's no way they're going to implement everything that I just coached them in these 5 days. And they need more time with me to ask questions. They need to be able to have time to implement what I'm teaching. They need time to actually just marinate on one topic a week, right? So then I moved it to a 4-week program the next time I launched it. And it was like one topic a week. And then we built from there and realized, gosh, there were so many more questions than the basics of LinkedIn. We started to add more and more modules for a better experience and better results with our clients, and expanded to 6 weeks. Then we expanded to 3 months. And now we're a 6-month integrated program. So the reason I'm sharing all of this with you guys is to give you perspective that we didn't start with it fully baked. You guys are in the middle of a program that's been fine-tuned over 4 years, but it started with imperfect action. And one of the things that, Annie, I would encourage you to maybe consider, again, not wanting to derail what you're working on now, but sometimes it can be really overwhelming to try to launch too many things at one time. I hear you talking about all these things that you're really good at, but what can happen in your marketing is you confuse your market and they don't really know what they're buying. And so then you're not really selling it because it's like website development and mindset coaching. Like on the outside, it could seem like a lost message, even though I know that you're really skilled in both, right? It's kind of like me selling you guys LinkedIn, but also selling you hypno breathwork, saying, hey, but also inside the academy, we're going to do hypno breathwork together. And you're like, what? But if I brought you in with one core competency, the LinkedIn Method Academy, gained rapport and traction with you, and then started to expose to you other modalities and expertise that I have, you become more open to it. Because it's like the Trojan horse. You sell them something they really think they need, and they do need, right? But then they get into your community and then you pop out of the Trojan horse and it's like, but I also have this and I also have this. And I like, how many of you guys knew when you came into the academy that I also had Business Basics, which is a program to teach you online entrepreneurship and launching programs online, or my mastermind, or hypno breathwork? Probably none of it, because my messaging was really, really tight on this one flagship offer that I had that creates a known modality, a known course, a known program that can get, what's the word I want to use? Momentum in the online space. When we try to start marketing all these things that we can do together, it diminishes brand recognition and like it diminishes the value proposition that people can get with you. And the last thing I'll say on this, and again, I don't want to derail where you are, but I just want to humor me this, right? If you can find out of all the things you offer, the one that you think is the biggest umbrella that's going to bring a lot of value and bring the most people in, think of like top of funnel with your accountants. Like, what is the biggest thing that you can help them with immediately and give them immediate wins? That top of funnel becomes your funnel for the rest of your programs. And Sarah heard me talking about this a little bit earlier today, I believe. And that is that selling additional products and services to an internal client is 10x easier than trying to find new ones. So consider creating a top of funnel offer that's like the main thing that they really, really need. And then you begin funneling them into the other tiered offers that you have, or the add-ons. They're in for a month or two and they want to add on the mindset coaching. They want to add on XYZ. it creates more laser focus and it creates a top of funnel that then you're just selling to your internal customer and creating a customer forever, a lifelong customer, versus spending excessive energy burning and churning and trying to find new clients all the time instead of just moving your current clients through the funnel while you bring more clients in from the top of funnel. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. And I hear you on all of that. I haven't been focusing on putting all of these elements into my marketing. The only thing that I've marketed is building your online presence and creating systems and processes so that you can create a firm that you started to create. Like that's why you got into the business of it, right? Because it's a huge issue in accounting industry right now to have those unwanted managers and all that. So anyway, my whole marketing campaign is around just the bigger umbrella of things and not just like bits and pieces of all of those things that I'm going to do. So I have a lot of space to change my direction right now because I haven't really put everything out yet. I've just been teasing it slowly and getting some momentum. But like one of my biggest things that I can sell very quickly is high demand, good revenue generator is website development. And that's why I anchored that to my coaching because I don't have any testimonials for coaching. So I figured these people, if they get a website developed from somebody else, they don't really know how to build a marketing machine that will work for them because website can work in so many ways. People can have something to showcase, but it can also work as a marketing engine. And that's what I wanted to teach people to do, that you can have this website, but it can I'm going to give you these strategies that is going to help you, not just in your website, but also in all other areas of your marketing. So maybe there is a way that I can offer something small. Like I really like the idea of you saying 5 days, because then I can do a small beta test and then launch in the next 6 months instead of waiting for the next 6 months.
And what I could see you doing, and I'm just kind of spitballing here, is what if, knowing that the website development is a huge thing, is what if you did a little free launch, like a free masterclass that was like the 3 secrets to optimizing your website for lead generation in your accounting firm. Like, you obviously know this verbiage a whole lot better than I do, but it's basically like lure them in, sell them what they think they need, right? So bring them in and educate them about some really, really cool, core, pivotal things that need to be known and done on the website. But in that same message, we call this infusion selling. You're actually weaving through all the other core things that need to be clarified from a branding and messaging perspective in order for their brand, their website, all the things to perform and optimize properly. So that by the end of their 60 to 90 minutes with you or a couple of day workshop, you're now depending on the price point, you're then presenting to them this more comprehensive package that they're totally sold into because they believe that they need all these other aspects to actually make the website design the most optimal. So like my example to you on this, where we're headed with our business basics, we've never done a big public launch to our business basics, our online business development group coaching program. It's internal funnel that just feeds from our internal clients. Where we're going to go, you guys can watch us because we're playing with this, is our first public workshop on this is going to be how to build an opt-in, right? How do you build an opt-in that builds an email list, right? But this is the Trojan horse because we're going to teach you what you need to do to build an opt-in. We're going to we're going to give you the goods. But in that same process, we're going to be like, now what are you going to do with that? Have you built an email nurture? Do you know how to build an email nurture? How are you going to convert these people? How are you optimizing and packaging your products and services? So basically, it's like, we're going to give them exactly what we promised them in the workshop, but we're going to open Pandora's box to how do you maximize this widget that we just taught you how to build? Well, the way you maximize this widget is you work with us and we'll hold your hand through the whole process. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I really like this idea.
Thanks, guys, so much for listening in on today's podcast episode. And I can't wait for you to see my upcoming guest in the next episode. You are going to love this keynote speaker. Hey, here's the deal. If you liked this, please subscribe and leave a review. And you want the latest online business growth strategies and exclusive LinkedIn pro tips sent straight to your phone? Text the word update to 704-318-2285. That is, text the word update to 704-318-2285. Can't wait to see you guys. Come find me over on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, wherever you like to hang. I cannot wait to hear how you are enjoying and applying what you're learning. You guys reach out to me over on social because I love hearing what's resonating with you. When you reach out to me and you send me those personal DMs, they really do impact the content I continue to bring forward to you. So again, come find me, Melissa_Hinault over on Instagram, Melissa Hinault over on LinkedIn and Facebook. Can't wait to see you guys over there.